The increasing popularity of the annual Basketball Africa League and the huge investment by the NBA across the continent is inspiring many African youth to dream of playing professional basketball. In Kenya, a grassroots league is gaining prominence as it enters the playoff stage of the competition. CGTN's Mohammed Abubakar went to the courts and filed this report.
Basketball fans in Nairobi are soaking in the rise of a new and exciting domestic league. Street League Africa started as a competition for advocacy 7 years ago. What began as a grassroots tournament has grown to become a fully-fledged pro street league.
The concept behind is to empower young people. So we wanted to give room to empower young people. First of all, it's an advocacy league where we mingle these young people, bring them together, empower them, and then within, as they play, they get to connect with others. The major vision of whatever we want to reach out to is to make sure that this is the biggest league in Kenya.
Street League Africa features over 20 teams based in and around the Kenyan capital, battling for bragging rights. The league has become so competitive that some teams have a mix of amateur and semi-professional players in their roster.
The Street League, it brings about like the talents or the young players who ain't even able to make it to the national team. They show competition here. So the level of competition here and the talent in the street is just the best.
I've played in Div 1, I've played in Div 3, Premier League, and now I'm playing here. The level is, I can say it's the same. Because, you know, guys who play in the Premier League come here. So it's quite competitive. I would say it's the same, it's on the same level.
In the last few years, the league has bolstered talent and blended entertainment to capture a unique and devoted fan base.
This is the most funded league in Kenya. You can even see the cash prize that we are giving vis-a-vis the National League, the cash prize that they are giving. I'm not trying to compare both, but I may say the standard that are here in Street League, that's why you see them coming from there to play here. And by the way, others even started playing here and they went to play to the National League. And that's why you see the dynamic of Street League is as in we've never had a winner that has won this Street League twice. So the ring here means a lot.
Street League Africa hopes to play a role in talent development in Kenya, with the country hoping to get its clubs competing at the continental stage. Mohammed Abubakar, CGTN.
Well, for more on the Basketball Africa League, we're joined by sports analyst Marwan Saeed, live from Cairo. Marwan, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us here on Sports Scene. Marwan, what impact has the BAL had in expanding the popularity and the penetration of basketball in Africa over the last 4 years? Marwan?
I think it has had a notable impact in terms of people that were not really interested in basketball but wanted to be interested but did not have the, I won't say the resources to watch, but it was a little bit demotivating, if we're going to put it this way. There was not much hype. Hype is the best word. So it added hype to it. Nowadays, much more people are interested at least to know what's going on, to support their clubs that they support, let's say in football. So things have changed a little bit, or much more than before. Not only people who are passionate about basketball follow basketball now, at least from this is what we've seen. No, a lot of more people are getting involved in the game.
All right, let's unpack that narrative a little more. 2 Egyptian clubs have won not one, but 2 Basketball Africa League titles. Has this raised more interest in the sport in your country?
I think, as I said, my previous statement, it's also applicable on this situation, because nowadays in important games, previously the fans that went to these matches were ones that were interested in basketball. Now you find supporters of the club itself not just the basketball as a game. No, the club, like supporters of Al Ahli, for example, or something like that, they go even if they're not, they were not following basketball. No, they're more interested to go to the games and to cheer on their team, to learn more about the game, have a wider scope of viewing the sports in general. It's not just football now. A lot of things have been changing. Obviously, the change is not huge, but we've come a long way since a few years ago, where people were not really interested in the sport unless they were involved somehow, whether they played the game or have a relative playing the game, something like that.
All right, Marwan, so let me put it like this. With all that's going on in the world of basketball, why do you think the NBA is investing so heavily in Africa these days?
I'm more surprised that they didn't do that a long time ago. Egypt or Africa in general, I want to just say Egypt. Africa in general is a gold mine for potential athletes. Is a gold mine for if we're going to take basketball as a business, for example. The opportunities would be there if someone would provide them. We have very capable athletes. If given the chance, they would do something big, something different, and shine. But the past few years, or before the NBA intervened, there was not much attention to basketball because it is not the #1 sport in Africa as a whole. Football is the #1 sport. So it's nice to see an entity come in and take this responsibility, developing the game, developing the awareness. I think it's a very good opportunity for the NBA and for Africa. And as I said, it should have been done by the NBA or by our federations years ago.
All right, I hear what you say in your comparison with football, but do you see basketball becoming an African sporting staple like football in the future? And if so, what is it going to take?
This is a logical question to ask, but to be honest, it's difficult. It is very difficult. Football is not just a sport for Africans as a whole. No, we can say it's something in our DNA. It runs in our blood. Since we were young, we were brought up to watch the game with our fathers, with our grandfathers, family gatherings, friends, the feuds, and a lot of energy around the game. It will be very difficult, and it's the #1 sport in the world. So it will be very difficult for another sport to compete with that. But diversity is good. We don't have to have 100 million people in Egypt and 99 million are interested in one sport. No, to have another outlet or another scope where people can explore is good. But to go head to head with football, it will be, I believe it's impossible, to be honest, in Africa at least.